everyone. In today's model question, we'll discuss water distribution on the earth. Now this might seem a silly topic, but from this particular topic UPSC has already asked twice for your prelims examination. Once in 2010 and another question was in 2013, right? So this is why this topic is important. Before solving all the three questions, right, the model question as well as these two previous questions, let's take a look at the water distribution on the Earth's surface. Now this factual data, they are based on the physical geography NCERT, right? So anyway, the idea is, or the facts which you have to keep in mind regarding the water distribution is that we are having more water on the southern hemisphere than when compared with the northern hemisphere. So like based on fact, or as a fact, we can say like 57% of the water is there in the southern hemisphere. Now we can relate it with like, more land mass is there in the northern hemisphere, right? And for that reason, the amount of the water in the northern hemisphere is less when compared with the southern hemisphere. So 43% of the water in the northern hemisphere, 57% of the water in the southern hemisphere. Now another thing you have to keep in mind, of all the water, right, 97% of the water is bound up in our oceans, right? Only, the rest of the 3% is distributed in all the rivers, lakes and everywhere, right? So of all the total amount of water, right, be it fresh water or the saline water, of all the water, right, 97% is in our oceans, and rest of the 3% is regarded as the fresh water. Now fresh water means like it's safe to drink. It's drinkable, right? The amount of the salt dissolved in this particular water is less, so that it's suitable for drinking, right? So only 3% of the total water is fresh water. That's the first thing you have to keep in mind. Now regarding this fresh water itself, right? If you're considering this 3% of the fresh water, of this 3%, 69% of the entire fresh water is bound up in ice caps and glaciers. Right, like in the Arctic and Antarctic, we are having ice caps, and in certain mountainous regions, we are having glaciers, right? So all these ice caps and glaciers, they are formed of fresh water, right? So of this 3% of the total water found, or like you can say, 69% of the total fresh water is bound up in ice caps and glaciers, right? Now next comes the underground, right? The groundwater, we are having 30% of the fresh water is bound up in under the ground. Right? Now think about the lakes, the rivers, like the wetlands and everything, right? Wherever whatever fresh water like on the surface, like it constitutes less than 1%, right? So the fact you have to keep in mind is if you're considering just the fresh water, 69% is bound up in the glaciers and ice caps, and rest 30% is there in the underground. And this can be said in another words, like in the sense of the total fresh water on the Earth's surface, less than 1% is there on the surface. Think about it, right? Lakes or rivers can be considered as fresh water on the surface, which is obviously less than 1%, right? Now, if you're going through this tabular column, right, you can see the oceans is having around 97.25% of the total water. Then comes the ice caps and glaciers, which are having 2.05%. Right? Then comes the groundwater, there it goes, lake, soil moisture, atmosphere, stream, rivers and biosphere, right? Since UPSC has already asked twice from this particular topic, right, this tabular column is very important and it's given in the NCERT itself, right? So make sure you know the range of these facts, right? In the sense, you need not by heart the factual data, like you need not by heart it's the biosphere is containing 0.00004%. You need not by heart that. But if you have been given like oceans, ice caps, lakes, soil moistures, should be able to arrange them in the correct order of the water found, right? Now this tabular column is based on the total water found, right? It's not on the fresh water. So regarding the fresh water, you have to understand that only 3% of the total water is fresh water, and among them, most of the fresh water is bound up in the ice caps and glaciers. And next comes the underground, right? Around 30% of the fresh water is found underground, right? Then on the surface, we are having just 1% of the water, right? Or the fresh water. Now there is another term called as usable quantity, right? So we had talked about like the total water found, then the fresh water, then comes the term called as usable quantity of fresh water, right? Think about this. We cannot use the fresh water which are bound up in the ice caps and glaciers, right? So these glaciers or ice caps, ideally, right, we cannot use them. So like the ice caps, the fresh water which are bound in like the ice caps and glaciers, they are not usable, right? So if you are being asked what is the usable quantity of fresh water, we should not consider the amount of water which are found on the glaciers and ice caps. So usable quantity means either it's over the surface or it's on the underground, right? So that's all regarding the water distribution. Now let's go back to the model question. So arrange the following in descending order of freshwater percentage, right? So descending order means we have to find out, or we have to arrange them in the sense decreasing order, right? I mean, we have to arrange them which is having the more amount of fresh water, right? So going through the options: atmospheric moisture, freshwater lakes and rivers, groundwater, and ice cap and glaciers. Now we have already seen the ice cap and glaciers is having more than 69% of the total fresh water. So ideally the 4 should be, I mean the answer should start with 4, right? So we can eliminate options B as well as C. Now what left is, like, we already understood 1 should come last, right? Atmospheric moisture. Now we should choose between freshwater lakes and rivers as well as groundwater. Now we know that the groundwater is having around 30% of the total fresh water. So after 4 should come 3, right? Now comparing with the options A as well as D, we understand that the D is a correct answer. 4, 3, 2 and 1. So like, the ice caps and glaciers, then comes the groundwater, then the freshwater lakes and rivers, and towards the last comes the atmospheric moisture. The next, the 2010, the prelims question, right? The 2-statement question. The first one: on the planet Earth, the fresh water available for use amounts to about less than 1% of the total water found. Now here the key word you have to understand: the fresh water available for use. Now the fresh water available for use, we should not consider the glaciers and ice caps, right? Now the fresh water available for use amounts to about less than 1% of the total water found. Now in the tabular column we have seen of the total water found, right? Of the total water found, like more than 2% is bound up as ice caps and glaciers, right? And more than 97% is there in the oceans. That means, like, on the surface, like freshwater lake or river, the water is less than 1%, right? So from the same fact which you have already covered, it can be asked in different ways, right? So make sure you give importance to these keywords, right? So here the keyword is fresh water available for use. So the first statement is correct. The fresh water available for use amount to less than 1% of the total water found, which is correct. Now the second one, of the total fresh water. Now the first statement was regarding on planet Earth the fresh water, right? So this particular question is regarding the amount of the fresh water. So second statement, of the total fresh water found on planet Earth, 95% is bound up in polar ice caps and glaciers. Now this percentage is given as wrong. It should be 69%, right? So for that reason the second statement is wrong, in the sense of total fresh water found, we are having 69% is bound up in polar ice caps and glaciers. So the answer for this particular question comes out as A, which is 1 only, right? Now next, let's take a look at the 2013 previous question, right? On the planet Earth, most of the fresh water exists as ice caps and glaciers. Out of the remaining fresh water, the largest portion, right? So they have already stated, like, the most of the fresh water is bound up as ice caps and glaciers. Now after the ice cap and glaciers, where is the largest portion of the fresh water? And it should, here the answer should come out as like the groundwater, right? The option C. Now this particular question is 2013 and this one is 2010, right? So for a person who is writing the 2013 prelims examination, if that person has come across this particular previous question and prepared on this topic, should be easily able to answer the 2013 question, right? Since UPSC has already asked twice from this area, you can expect a model question, expect a future question asked for your prelims from the same area.